Hello and welcome to autoportal.com, the car buying website that helps you buy better. If you want unbiased, honest and easy to understand car buying advice, then please subscribe to our channel by clicking over here. And while you're at it, also click on the bell icon to receive all our notifications first. Thanks for watching. Well, so here we are on yet another road trip this time, and this time we're heading from Delhi all the way up to Solan, but we've decided to take a small detour towards the city of Chandigarh, which is roughly about 240 odd kilometers from Delhi. Yes, we are in the city beautiful, and we will be heading to Solan, which is in Himachal from here, and we've managed to take the Tata Motors Tiago for this trip. This, of course, is the diesel version of the car, and we've already told you that this is a great car for anyone who wants to buy a small compact hatchback for the city. But how is it on the highway? How is it in terms of fuel efficiency? How is it in terms of overall refinement and noise and vibration levels? We'll find that out on the show today. So before going towards the end of the video, let me tell you that this is a strong package, and from a score of 90, I'd give it a very strong 89. It really is a phenomenal package. And why is it? We'll find that out on the show today. Well, so the Tiago has a lot of impressive bits about itself, but let me start off by talking about two negatives, because there are a couple of big negatives on this car and something that might irritate a few buyers. One, of course, is the fact that the door bins are really tiny and they can't house any 1-liter bottles, and that's something which can be very, very annoying on that long highway trip. There's only one big place over where you can keep that big 1-liter bottle, and of course you can keep those Coke cans here in front of the handbrake, but apart from that, the door bins won't have anything, so that's really very poor in terms of utility places. The other negative bit is the fact that Tata is still using these pull-out type door locks, which is something which takes you back, and it's a bit of a retrograde step, and there's no button over here in the middle for central locking, so that's something which can annoy a lot of car buyers. But there are lots of positive things to talk about as well. So with the negatives out of the way, let's start with the positives now. Well, one of the biggest plus points on the Tiago are the front seats. Yes, these seats are very good in terms of comfort. They're absolutely brilliant for relaxation. And if you are on a long highway trip like I am today, then these seats will offer you very good cushioning, very good support, and simply make your mind and body feel relaxed. You'll come out of this car just as fresh as you started off the journey. So that's something which is very positive on the Tiago. What also makes this car a very good car for comfort is the suspension setup. Yes, the ride comfort on the Tiago is absolutely brilliant. It's a very comfortable car, especially on the highway. The car really does feel very stable, very reassuring. And since we are in Chandigarh and we are talking about suspension setup, let me also tell you that it is a whole lot more stable than my ex-girlfriend ever was. And she was also maybe from Chandigarh, or was she? Do let me know in the comments section below. So no matter what speeds you're doing, you might be doing highway speeds or you might be doing slow city speeds, the Tiago will simply take care of all those speeds for you. It will simply not allow any of those undulations to enter the cabin. There might be rumble strips, there might be badly patched up roads, there might be a whole lot of other things happening, but this car will simply not allow those undulations to enter the cabin, so it is really good for ride comfort. Well, what you'll also enjoy about the Tiago is its gearbox. Yes, the gearbox is a nice and slick unit. Now, it's not as slick as the Maruti Suzuki Swift or the Ford Figo, but those cars are the benchmarks when it comes to gearbox unit. This one isn't that far behind. If those cars were a strong 90, then this one is 89. It's pretty good in overall isolation and just half a step behind those two leaders in the gearbox department. Another thing that will truly impress you is the air conditioning on the Tiago. Yes, the air conditioning on this car is absolutely phenomenal. Now, we have been driving this car in 40 degrees heat, and it has been chilling the cabin really well. Even our colleague who was sitting in the back was complaining that the cabin is feeling very, very cold and we should turn down the AC knob. But the thing is that it was already on 1. Yes, the blow speed was on 1 and he was feeling the chills at the back. So that just goes to show you the amount of cooling that this car's air conditioner can do. And it is a great car for those long highway trips, also for cooling on a hot and summery day. So overall, how is the Tiago's diesel engine for power delivery? Well, I have to say that it is a typical diesel engine, and what I mean by that is that it needs a little bit of revs to get going. So below 2000 RPM, it's really lazy. It's like a kid at 6 in the morning who doesn't want to get up and go for school. But once, of course, he does enter school, then the teachers have a very difficult time to tell him to sit down. And it's something similar with this engine, because between 2 and 4000 RPM, there's loads of torque, there's loads of power. You will never be left feeling like you need more power, and that's something which is very good on the highway. But of course, if the revs drop below 2000 RPM, you will immediately have to shift gears or shift into a lower gear, and that's something which is quite okay because it's typical of most diesel engine cars. So even though the Tiago steering wheel might not be the most communicative unit in the business, it is pretty decent for accuracy, and it definitely lets you know what's happening below the tires. It's not the sportiest, but it's still pretty accurate, and you won't feel like you're let down with the steering wheel. It's got pretty good agility as well for the size and the category that this car is in. Now, it's no Maruti Suzuki Swift when it comes to sheer agility, but even then, it's not a car which will let you down, and it's not a car which is very boring to drive either. So it is a nice mix of overall drivability as well as comfort. Well, so here I am. I've begun my journey up the hills in the Tata Tiago diesel, and I have to say that this car is just as impressive on the hills as it is on those plain surfaced highway roads. And why is that? Well, simply because this car offers you loads of grip in the corners. The tires offer you loads of grip. The steering wheel also is very precise, and there's some fun to be had for the keen driver, because if you push this kind of corners, there's very minimal body roll. The steering wheel is always very positive, and the gearbox also is a nice and snickety snick unit, so you'll enjoy shifting gears. And as I just said, surprisingly, it is a very good package even up the hills. Well, at this price point, the main rival for this car is the Hyundai Grand i10, and for someone who considers himself a keen driver, it is the Tiago which offers a little bit more, because this car has a little more communication in the steering wheel. It has a slightly more agile chassis, and also seems to have better dynamics overall. So yes, if you are someone who enjoys driving, you'll prefer this one over the Hyundai. What you'll also like about this Tiago up the hills is that fuel efficiency doesn't take a knock when you're going up. We've got figures in excess of 18 kpl on the plain roads, and even up the hills we're getting good figures, and we've got figures in excess of 17.5, and we have been driving this car now for quite a while up in the hills. So overall, it is an impressive car for both the highway use as well as driving up the hills. So overall, if I had to rate this car on a scale of 100, I'd give it a very strong score of 89. It is right up there with the class leaders, and the only thing missing on the Tiago is a little bit of sophistication and polish. If you're in the market for a premium hatchback and want something which offers you very good value, good refinement, and decent fuel economy, then this is the car that you should definitely consider. Yes, the Maruti Suzuki Swift and the Hyundai Grand i10 definitely have a slight advantage in terms of overall sophistication, but that said, this car is pretty good as an overall package, and is definitely a whole lot more than the sum of its numbers. It's bye for now, and hope to see you soon.